Hey YouTube, Kira Qualia here, bringing you all an update to my Cardfight Vanguard Levidras deck profile for post-Moon Fangs and Cerulean Blaze. With the 7th booster set, we were given more support to assist with the setup of the Infinity Eyes Destin 1 of Infinity deck, utilizing the different Infinity Eyes markers, being able to place them both on your opponents and your own rearguard circles for additional power of your own units and then decrease of power for your opponent's units. A very interesting Stoicheia deck altogether, with the added pressure that Levidras can provide with the ability to place more Infinity markers, and then all the added setup for your other units when they're placed on Infinity markers as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. Go ahead and start off with the ride deck. For starters, we have the energy generator with our grade 0 being Stag Nipper Dragon. When rode upon, if you went second, draw a card. Our grade 1 is Score Piercer Dragon. If your soul has Stag Nipper Dragon, when you would ride Manta Scythe Dragon from the ride deck, you can ride without discarding a card from your hand, so it just saves in resources from your hand. When we go into our grade 2 Manta Scythe Dragon, when it's rode upon by a grade 3 with Levidras in its card name, Energy Blast 3, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose a 1 grade 3 or less card from among them, reveal it, put it in your hand, and shuffle your deck. So just for the use of an Energy Blast, we get a search with our grade 3 being the Destin King of Infinity, Levidras, running the Destin King over the original Destin 1 of Infinity Levidras, just for the added setup from being able to then just set up the original Levidras into our soul to then use this card's other abilities. So on top of the one from the ride deck, we are running 3 additional copies in the main deck as well. With this card, it's also regarded as Destin 1 of Infinity Levidras. During your turn, it gets +5 for each Destin 1 of Infinity Levidras in your soul, and it also gets all of their Divine Skill. Counterblast 1, or put a card from hand to the soul. And with this card, choose 2 of any player's rearguards, put Infinity markers on each of them. If you put a grade 3 or greater card with Levidras in its card name for this card, you choose 3 instead too. So just the added increase of being able to set up more and more Infinity Eyes markers. And when any player unit on a rearguard with your Infinity Eyes marker attacks or boosts, you may have that unit get +10 or -10 until the end of the battle. If your opponent's unit got -10, remove 1 of your Infinity markers from that rearguard and draw a card, giving you the added setup for just being able to take more resources away from your opponent on top of the draw power with this card. Since we have to put the original into the soul, we're running 4 copies of the original Destin 1 of Infinity Levidras on top of the original unit as well, just so we have that card to put into the soul, gaining the Divine Skill for our Vanguard as well on top of it. With our other grade 3, we'll go over the Divine Skill, obviously, for this card as well, since it does get the Divine Skill from this card for our Destin King, Levidras as well, having the energy marker, but the main play, since we have this card as our Vanguard, with this Levidras is the Divine Skill. If your opponent's Vanguard's grade 3 or greater, Soul Blast 1, choose one of your rear guards and one of your opponent's rear guard circles, and put an Infinity Eyes marker on each of them, and then this unit gets +10,000 and critical +1 until end of turn. So this is the added pressure that you can use on top of the Infinity Eyes marker play, having just an added 10k critical +1 to your Vanguard on top of more Infinity Eyes markers being able to be placed as well. For the other grade 3s, we're running 3 copies of Knight of Fermosity, Charmnet. From the drop, if there are 3 or more Infinity Eyes markers and you do not have a rearguard with the same card as this one, Soul Blast 1, call this card to rearguard. And on the rearguard, when this unit attacks, if your Infinity Eyes marker is in the same column as this one, retire another rearguard, and this unit gets +10 till end of turn. And at the end of the battle, retire this unit and draw a card, making up for that added pressure that this grade 3 can provide on top of other cards, being able to do so as well as just giving you that other resource to call onto an Infinity's marker. For the new card from Moon Fangs and Cerulean Blaze, 4 copies of Acquired Panther Rod. When it's placed on rearguard with your Infinity Eyes marker, this unit gets +5,000 till the end of turn. If your Infinity Eyes marker is on your other rearguard in the same column as this one, choose one of your other rearguards and it gets +5,000 till end of turn. So just being able to have more power up as well. And then another rearguard just adds the stacking power for this rearguard to be able to provide for that unit. And then on the rear guard at the end of the battle this unit attacked, retire this unit, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 grade 3 or greater card with Levidras in its card name from among them, reveal it, put it in your hand, and shuffle the deck. So this is added consistency to make sure we get the proper Levidras into our hand to then use with our grade 3 Levidras, because we need that card to be able to copy the additional divine skill of our Levidras in the soul that we use for King Levidras. So just having a searcher that can even be used on the grade 2 ride if we attack with this card, and then being able to give us that search early on also. And then the 4 copies of Onfall Antogastar when it's placed on rearguard. If your Infinity Eyes marker is in the same column as this one, Energy Blast 3, look at the top 2 cards of your deck, choose a card from among them, put it into your hand, put the rest on the top or bottom of the deck, and this unit gets plus 5,000 to end of turn. And on rearguard during your turn, if you have a grade 3 or grade Vanguard Levidras in its card name, and there are 3 or more of your Infinity Eyes markers, this unit gets plus 5,000. And if your back row has no other rearguards with the same name as this one, it can attack from the back row. So you have added setup for more cards into your hand with the Energy Blast ability, and then just added pressure for being able to give this card plus 10 with the Infinity Eyes marker that you may have on that back row rear guard as well to make use with this card. With the rest of our grade 2s being 2 copies of Skulk Claw's Huntsman Huli, one placed on rear guard. If your Infinity Eyes marker is in the same column as this unit, counter plus 1, choose up to 1 grade 3 or less card from your drop, call it to rear guard. If there are 3 or more Infinity Eyes markers, it gets plus 10 until end of turn. So just more setup for a grade 3 on the back row or less card, using this card as that added resource, because just being able to keep the rear guards is a big play that you have to be able to do with your Levidras deck. For the grade 1s, we are running the 4 copies of Full Knowledge Foxhole. When during the battle this unit boosted, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard Levidras, it gets plus 5. And on rear guard, when this unit boosts a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Levidras in its card name, and your opponent's rear guard has your Infinity Eyes marker, it gets plus 2. Counter plus 1, choose one of your back row rear guards to end of turn that unit can attack from the back row and gets plus 10. So on top of the Antogastar back row attack, you also have the option for Foxel to provide that added pressure for another back row rearguard attack on top of that one also. We're also running 3 copies of Knight of Silence Illusion Clarence. It's your counter charger for the deck at the end of the battle that attacked or boosted. If your Infinity Eyes markers in the same column as this one, and you did not counter charge, put it into the soul, counter charge 1, giving you more soul build-up power thanks to this card on top of the counter charge power that it brings also. And then the 3 copies of Inquisitive Squirrel on the rear guard once per turn. At the end of the battle boosted. Soul Blast 1, move this unit to an open back row rear guard. If you moved it to a rear guard with your Infinity Eyes marker, stay on this unit and it gets plus 5 till end of turn. So just added pressure on top of the other unit setup for restand power as well, to then be able to potentially attack again with this card. With the rest of our grade 1s just being the Sentinel lineup to run in the deck as well as the other cards, with our trigger lineup being the 7 critical with the 4 ability Aspiring Maiden Alana. Our next one being the fronts for the added pressure, because we do have a lot of draw setup. We just more want pressure with our fronts to be able to add on top of everything else, with our heels being the Rhythmica Kiwi, just more of the generics for this lineup, with the over trigger being Valnute for the added rearguard stand and power as well for the potential rearguard that can hit again for the 100 million against your opponent as well. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. Just updating all of the last following decks from the Moonfangs and Cerulean Blaze. Set 8 will be around the corner before we know it, so wanted to get all the other decks that don't have as much support from that set out of the way from this as well. Levidras being one, with just small added support, but still some other changes made throughout the deck as well since the last video. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Qualia out.